Welcome back to another edition of Fly Tying for Beginners. Today we're going to tie a Deer Creek Claret Pheasant Tail Prince. The hook I have in a vise is a size 12. It's 2 extra long Nymph hook. I have a 3mm bead on there, and that's brass. I'm going to add some extra weight. I ran out of my 20,000, so I'm going to use 25, and I'm just going to put a couple less wraps on there. I'm going to put maybe 7 wraps on there instead of 10. Yeah, we'll go with 8. Push that inside the bead, and we got all our wraps on the thorax. Go ahead and break that back section off. Now the thread color doesn't matter. I'm going to use a 140 denier brown thread. We're going to start that thread in back of the lead wraps, and we're going to secure the lead. We want to make a little bit of a ramp there for a transition, and then we're going to bring the thread back to the where it would hang at the barb of the hook. Going to use a extra fine stainless steel silver wire for the rib. Going to tie that in. Now I'm going to put a little bit of head cement on my abdomen there. I'm going to use a claret colored pheasant tail, and I'm going to take 5 or 6 from the one side. We're going to make the tail just somewhere around the length, or maybe a little shorter than the length of the hook. We're going to tie this in. I'm going to come up on it just a little bit, and then I'm going to fold it back and come back. The reason I came up on it was that it was a little bit thin there. I'm going to go ahead and get that bump out of it, bring that up to the thorax. Going to wrap the pheasant tail. It's easier to just rotate the hook when you have such a small amount of material to hold on to when you're wrapping. Take this and trim off the excess. I'm going to take the rib. I'm going to go around the underneath the tail one time. Then I'm going to start to wrap it, and we're counter wrapping this. And we bring that right up, and we'll tie that off. Hold that rib tight until you get that secured, because the thread is going one direction and the lead or the rib is another, and you can unwind it easily. Take that and helicopter that off. I'm going to bring my thread back to the abdomen, and now I'm going to use Deer Creek Northern Lights Super Select Seal Fur, and this is claret colored. Has some nice reddish gold sparkle in it. Seal fur does not wrap real tight. I'm going to go ahead and put this on. that a little bit tighter if we could. Just want one more small pinch on there. We want to keep our thread a good eye length away from the bead. Now I'm going to take, I have a dark hen feather, and I'm going to tie that in by the tip. And we'll get rid of the excess. We're going to give this just a couple of wraps, 2 or 3. You can pull everything to the one side as you're going. Stroke it to the rear. And I'm going to tie that off. Go ahead and trim away that excess. And any you have sticking forward, you can just pull that back and wrap back on that just a little bit. Now I'm going to take a couple of white goose biots. We're going to use the natural curve in it and put that down. And you want that biot to go maybe to the tip of the abdomen, the end of the body. Take the other. Size it up to the one you just tied on. Put a wrap or 2 in front. Going to trim that off. We're going to put a little bit more of the seal fur on there to hide our thread. Make a pretty tight loop. Take our whip finish. I've been having pretty good success with this color of a prince. If you watch my last fishing video, I caught most of them on a claret prince. Put a little bit of head cement on there. We'll just put that on the bead and let that roll right in. And here we have a Deer Creek Claret Pheasant Tail Prince. Hope that you learned something from this video. Hope that you would subscribe to my channel. Please refer me to your friends. Leave comments, questions, suggestions, and most of all, thank you very much for watching my videos.